All right, let's get right into it. If you're in the nonprofit world, you know. If you're planning those big fundraising events, the galas, the volunteer-driven operations, you know the feeling. It's this world that's just fueled by so much passion, but man, it is often defined by overwhelm. You're trying to stretch these tight budgets, coordinate all your amazing volunteers, and create these really powerful, meaningful experiences for donors, all while feeling like you're constantly just one step away from total chaos. Well, this is about changing that. It's about moving from that feeling of being completely overwhelmed to a place of feeling truly sovereign.
And you know, this pressure, it's not just in your head. Look at this number. It's pretty staggering. Over 60% of nonprofit volunteers say they feel unappreciated or underutilized. Just let that sink in for a second. These are the people who believe in your cause, your greatest assets, and the majority of them feel disconnected. That's not just a bummer for morale, it's a full-blown operational crisis that leads to burnout and people leaving, which just stalls out your mission's momentum.
So, that leads us to the big question, right? Is all this constant stress, this running around putting out last-minute fires, is that just part of the job? For way too long, I think the industry has kind of accepted this as normal. But here's the thing. Chaos is not a creative environment. It's not a productive one either. It's actually a symptom of something missing. It's a symptom of a lack of clarity and a flawed way of operating. It's not the job itself, it's the system we've been using.
So, what do we do about it? Well, the solution starts with a pretty fundamental shift in your identity. It's time to think of yourself as more than just a planner or an organizer. It's time to step into the role of a creative operator. And listen, this isn't just some fancy new job title. It's a totally new way of thinking and leading that blends that deep passion you have for your mission with the kind of precision you need for flawless execution.
Okay, so what exactly is a creative operator? Let's define it. It's a sovereign leader who blends artistry with structure, clarity, and grounded execution. Now, I want you to really notice those key words: sovereign, structure, and clarity. This is all about you being in control of yourself and the process, not just constantly reacting to everything flying at you. It's about using systems not to kill creativity, but to actually make space for it.
This right here, this visual, it shows you the shift perfectly. You see, most event planners are stuck in that left column. They're reacting to emails, absorbing everyone else's stress, and trying to please everybody. The creative operator, on the other hand, is in the right column. They're directing the flow, guiding the process, and leading with real intention. You stop being the emotional sponge for the event, and you start becoming its calm, stable center.
And that brings us right to the heart of this whole creative operator mindset: sovereignty. Now, this isn't about power or control over other people. Not at all. It's about self-possession. It's an internal thing. It's about you being grounded and clear within yourself. And when you feel that way, it just radiates outward and influences every single person involved in your event, from the biggest donor to the newest volunteer.
I love this quote. Think about it like this: your presence is the emotional thermostat of the event. Seriously, if you're running around frantic, stressed out, and overwhelmed, guess what? That energy is going to infect everything and everyone. But if you are calm, if you are grounded and clear, you create this incredible sense of safety and confidence that literally stabilizes the entire operation. You get to set the tone.
So what does being sovereign actually let you do? Well, for one, you stay grounded, even when things get totally crazy. You make decisions with clarity, not out of panic. You communicate with intention so people know what's happening. You can hold firm, healthy boundaries that protect your own energy. And maybe most importantly, you maintain emotional neutrality, which means you don't just absorb and mirror all the stress around you.
Okay, so how do we take this idea of sovereignty and actually build it into how we work every day? It all starts with structure. I know. A lot of creative people hear the word structure and they think it's rigid and restrictive, but the creative operator sees it completely differently. Structure isn't a cage, it's your sanctuary. It's the container that actually holds your creativity, protects your energy, and prevents you from burning out. This is the absolute core principle. You should repeat this to yourself. Chaos is not a creative environment. Chaos is a symptom of missing clarity. The real creativity, the kind that leads to those high-impact, emotionally powerful events, it actually thrives inside a good framework. Having systems for your volunteers, for donor communication, for budgeting, that's what frees you up to focus on the stuff that really matters, the mission. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data backs this up completely. Just look at the difference a good structure makes for volunteer management. The industry average for keeping volunteers is a pretty dismal 50%. But top-performing organizations, the ones with clear systems, they keep 75% of their volunteers. And look at this. They slash the number of people who don't have clear tasks from 40% all the way down to just 10%. Structure brings clarity, and clarity keeps people engaged and effective. It's that simple. Okay, so how do you actually build this thing? Well, here's a super clear, actionable roadmap. You start with vision and values. You have to get crystal clear on your purpose. Then you set your boundaries and budget. These are your non-negotiables. Next up is structural mapping, where you literally create the skeleton of the event. And finally, you have operational design, where you turn that skeleton into concrete working systems for your vendors, volunteers, and staff.
Now, once you have that sovereign mindset and your solid structure in place, you can start to effectively guide what we call the event ecosystem. Because, events aren't just a to-do list. They're living, breathing systems made up of people, resources, and a whole lot of emotions. Your job isn't to micromanage every little piece, but to guide the flow of that whole system with intention.
And to guide that ecosystem, you've got to know what it's made of. You've got your stakeholders, volunteers, and donors. That's the emotional heart of it. You have your resources, like your budget and your time, and your constraints, which really are just design challenges in disguise. And the thing connecting it all? Your communication flows. That's the lifeblood of your entire operation. A creative operator sees this entire map all at once.
So a huge skill for a creative operator is knowing where things are likely to get heated. In the nonprofit world, these emotional hotspots are super predictable, right? You've got those crucial donor interactions, tough talks about the budget, last-minute changes from a stakeholder, the normal friction of coordinating volunteers, and the pressure of getting sponsors. By seeing these coming, you can prepare for them, set expectations, and lead with that calm clarity instead of just reacting in the heat of the moment.
So let's just pull this all together. The journey from being overwhelmed to being sovereign, it's a conscious choice. It's a real transformation. It's about shifting from being that reactive manager who's just absorbing everyone's stress to becoming a calm, strategic leader who guides the event with clarity, with structure, and with this profound sense of self-possession.
At the end of the day, this is the goal. This is what it's all about. It's about blending your heart, that deep passion you have for your cause, with smart strategy and the kind of operational precision that leads to excellence. When you get that balance right, you're not just running successful events anymore. You're creating sustainable, high-impact experiences that powerfully move your mission forward.
So I'll leave you with a question to really think about. What could your mission truly achieve? How much more of an impact could you make if there was a calm, clear, sovereign leader steering the ship? That leader, that can absolutely be you.